Alrighty, hello friends. We are here today. We are going to go over the top 10 tips that we have for increasing your gameplay and making it so that you can start kicking some butts against some pros. There's little things that you may just not know, and let's get on those.
And I wanted to make it, I guess. You know I live with the criticisms. People are giving opinion, they put it upon a pedestal. A pen for your thoughts, but I never asked for change. My work ethic's ridiculous, and yours is not the same.
So our first thing that we're going to go over, one of the biggest things, I'm going to be honest, this is more of a PC guide than a mobile. However, there's going to be a lot of tips in here mobiles can utilize as well. This is going to be a really big one though. One of them being your sensitivity. As you can see, my sensitivity, I have it extremely low. So you'll notice I have this at 40%. We have 15, 4s, 2s, and 1%. The natural percent that you get from this, I'm going to admit it's matching top to bottom too, realize that is a thing. One of the big things you'll notice though is even on low sensitivity, natural scope brings you to 40%. I play at 15. These were at 4s, these are way higher, that's at low sensitivity. At medium, you're looking at 50%. High percent, I believe, there we go, 60% on top. This sensitivity is almost too much to play at. This is way too much for most people coming into the game. Most people have about 800 DPI when they play this game on their mouse. That's about the natural setting for the majority of players. This is way too high of a sensitivity to work with. So lower that down, bring it down like so. You can use the check marks, you can bring it down a bit more. It sucks because I'm going to have to custom do this all over again, but just to show you guys, this is something that you need to change. This cannot be up this high. This has to go down. Anyways, that's tip number 1, and I promise you, it makes a difference when you get used to it. Another thing you want to constantly make sure you're being aware of too. This game, you can hear a lot. When you bring your sound effects all the way up to 100%, you can hear gunshots from almost 200 meters away in this game. So having your headset on, having your sound effects at 100% makes a huge difference. Awareness is a big thing in this game. Another thing people don't realize, see this map up above me at the top here? Or over there, sorry, my bad. Up there, there's a mini map up there. This thing will register more than you think on the map. When you're wondering, is the person going left or right and you can't tell? That mini map will tell you every single time. You will know where the bullet locations are. You will know when people are sneaking up on you. Always have your mind on that mini map. I realize I'm pointing up in a wrong direction this entire bloody time. But always utilize that map. It has so much knowledge in it, and if you've never played a NetEase game before, you need to realize this mini map will tell you more than anything on the front of the screen ever will. A big thing I did notice as well is that a lot of people, when they choose to play this game, they keep their default skill keys on their F1, F2, and F3. That is horrible. At no point can your hand naturally reach out that far unless you have a keyboard that is extremely small, and even then it's an unnatural key to go with. So maybe try things out like your Q key, your Z key, your X, and your C. Pop it over, change your E into a different pickup option, make that maybe anything else on your keyboard, and create that as a skill ability. The ability to just go and press Q right beside your mouse key as you're moving to tower. Having your shield key right by you, so as you're in combat you can shield up, defend, and shoot over top. Having that quick reaction time with these defensive skills is huge. So looking into putting it on somewhere closer near your WASD or movement keys, putting it somewhere like your Q, Z, X, or even in my case a side mouse key function. You can do things like that. Make sure you look into it, because being able to use your skills in-game ASAP is normally the difference between dying at that very moment. Tip number 4 is going to be about using your droid abilities. Again, something we brought up with the key mappings, making sure that you're able to access your droid abilities quickly. There are some skills that are much better than the other. For example, right off the bat, you get your shield wall ability. This ability is so powerful. Being able to place it in front of you and have that defensive shield, it makes the difference. If any of you have ever played a game like Fortnite, you know that the status is you build before you shoot, and that's how you win majority of fights. This is a very similar situation. Don't be afraid to spend 30 cube to take out your opponent and take his 60 in return. Another really big skill as well is using the watchtower. This will raise you above, giving you that height advantage. Realize though, the longer you stay in that tower, the bigger chance you have the enemy will find your position and prepare to shoot you the moment you leave it. So utilizing it just for a brief moment so you can heal, be out of line of sight, and dropping right off to get back into the combat. That one little motion alone can keep you nice and healthy and able to get right back into the engagement ASAP. Again, a very powerful skill. The shield ability and the watchtower almost mandatory for majority of players who want to take this game seriously. When you're talking about one of the third skills you do, in my opinion, shield and tower always want to be on that toolbar for the most part. It does give you insane advantages in the middle of combat, a lot of occasions, but to have a third ability is always useful. One thing people like to use is fire support. What this is going to do, it's going to give you a second gun basically equipped to you for any rifles or SMGs that you're shooting. This gives you huge damage output, and in most cases people are actually thinking that this skill is overpowered. So don't be afraid to use it when you're about to get into an engagement. Something that's more of a squad base, and I do recommend you maybe avoid using the skill until you realize you've hit that skill level where you and your team can confidently get each other up and win your matches. But if you feel that you are confident enough to run without a secondary ability that's meant to help you kill your opponent and you think you can take the time to help your teammates, the first aid ability is huge. This will actually continue to resurrect the person as long as this ability is up. It will continue even if they get knocked down a second or a third time. The only way to stop the res station is to destroy it itself. This is also an ability you can use on yourself, so if you find that you may get knocked at last second, place it down and you may have an opportunity to get back up. In my opinion though, put down the 30 shield, stay alive, and get the kill. Don't waste the 90 cube in order to get this skill down. Something that's a personal favorite is using the destroy ability. This only costs 15 cubes, but with this 15 cubes you can annihilate any different thing that any of your opponents place up. If it's a fort ability, if it's a shield, if it's a tower, one 15 cube ability and it's all gone. There's an AoE to it as well, so if the towers are grouped up, you have the potential to take out multiple at one time. And again, you gotta think, if you're in a shield battle against someone and you have destroy and you're staring point blank at each other, you could keep casting destroy for 15 cube and they're gonna keep having to spend 30 in order to put out a fresh shield. Keep that up, at some point they'll have 0 and you'll still have half of yours. So you'll notice that certain guns will actually have something with their core attachment that makes it so they are insane. The Son of Sky, for example, is a very powerful rifle to begin with, but the moment you put a core onto it, its headshot damage is increased phenomenally. You look at the difference even between the Son of Sky and the Delta, and this is with the core attached onto the Delta. As you can tell, increased headshot damage. There is a huge scale in damage difference, especially when you get the headshots out. However, one of the big things about the Son of Sky is, yes, it has huge recoil to it. Letting loose, it raises. You have to control it and hold it down. But however, when you're talking about the Delta, something like this, you have to literally hold it on the target. You can take your hand off the keyboard and you will near stay completely accurate. The amount of control you need to actually hold this onto a target is next to nothing. So yes, it does less damage, but your ability to stay consistent with shots are huge. So depending on your skill level, pick between one of those two rifles. However, rifles are not the only most powerful gun in the game. If you're someone that likes to get a little closer into combat, maybe your headshot accuracy is not the best. Check out a gun like the Sentinel. The Sentinel is an SMG with one of the highest fire rates, with a lot of damage behind it, and when you do have the core attached to it, the reload speed of this gun is insane, to the point that if you have the ammo, you can keep fighting and continue fighting until everyone's dead with no moment to hesitate. Now, as nice it is to be able to have all this gun knowledge, one of the things a lot of people still need to practice on is hitting your shots. So I find one of the best ways I do that is I go into a training room, I get myself a Soul Snatcher, and what I do is I equip it up and I put the core on it. One of the big things about the core on the Soul Snatcher, even while in training grounds, marks hit an enemy revealing their thermal signal for a while. Something to keep in mind. This thermal signal, it activates. Unfortunately, I hit it. Hit a target there. This good move. There we go. It will actually activate on the enemy you're hitting. So if you want to get into the training room, grab yourself a sniper and practice your sniper shots and go seeing, and you can see the reaction of blue when you hit them. So if you were to accidentally miss your target, so for example, right there, miss, no glow, hit him, you know you hit your shot. This is something you and a teammate could actually both go in training grounds together. You could practice your shields, you can practice your towers, and you can practice just staying mobile in general and using the sniper to hit your shots and see if you actually hit them properly. When choosing to go for a landing location, try to aim for 1500 to 1400 meters. When you do hop out, press your shift ASAP to activate your jetpack and aim for about 220, 224 if you can. Majority of the time this will get you here as one of the first players in the match. One thing too, don't be afraid to wait for your target. Let him find a position. In this case it's a bot. It's going to be hard for me to hide from, but you can wait, position, take your shot when the person's going for the other loot. Don't just wait for the target for the first possible shot you make. It's alright to wait before you engage and go for the right shot. Learn the jumps in this game. Don't be afraid to hit a hill. Hit the jetpack and get a little bit of air. Have fun as you're driving around. One of the big things about the cars in this game is that you can actually jump across things like the river. There are multiple locations, one being this for example, one being right here for example. These two hills alone can get you across the river, and here's a quick little example of it. This is one of the locations. Unfortunately, the minimap doesn't want to hide. There we have it. So as you can see, you're hitting this area. You just need to go at least 100 kilometers before you hit this first lip. The moment you hit that boost in your jetpack, hit that lip, and go flying across. Why go all the way to the bridges when you can just do this? Boom, other side. No issue whatsoever. Something to keep in mind too, you're about to mess up in the water, you can car swap your seats. This will actually relaunch it in some ways to save you. You're about to go into the storm, quickly swap around your seats, get back in the driver's seat, shoot the other direction. Another jump a lot of people don't recognize is you see these big old towers up here? You know how much of a hassle it is to get to the top of these some days? Well, there's at least one jump you can take to get to the top of one of these towers, and it's right over here. So what you're gonna do is you can either come directly down the street, you can come around on this side here, just make a little bit of turn, make sure you have speed, again trying to go at least 100 kilometers before you're hitting the ramp itself. You wanna go around, make a turn, and as you come in, hit that jetpack and you launch for it. What it's gonna do is give you huge height. This allows you the ability to get up there much faster and without the people noticing that you're climbing up, because boom, you're already there. And also depending on how intense and how much speed you can get, I myself have literally launched over the tip of this before. Another river jump that people don't know about is crossing over to Hayden Park. Right by this windmill up here, there is a small lip behind it on the left side. You'll notice as you come around on this. Fortunately, again, you want to build up some speed. I may be a little slow here, but we're going to kick it into gear ASAP. This little lip behind it, if you hit it properly, you will shoot across. Boom, other side, you're good to go into combat. You're saving so much time jumping from there to there and removing the risk that there's people waiting at the bridges for you. Another couple big jumps you don't see too many people using very often. You notice there's people on top of those gun towers there. You know what I personally do? I come up to this little hill here, I run up this ridge, kick up my jetpack, and there I am over top. If I want to hop out, get into the engagement right then and there, I can, and chances are I caught them off guard. Another jump in a very similar location as well is actually coming around this way. You're going to come down the road, you're going to try and kill a bot in the process, and as you come around, hit this little lip right here. This will shoot you directly over top of them. You can hop out right then and there. They can't shoot you from this location, and you can then push them. It's an amazing tactic, and I really recommend trying it out. Gonna shoot that bot, thank you! There's so many different jumps where if you just hit those little rocks, you're gonna see that you're doing this every single match just because it's so enjoyable. It also gives you a huge area to look left and right to see if you can find a target. Overall though, just have fun with the cars. Take it off the side, yeet around the map, shoot through those trees, crunch everything up. Go and have some fun when you're driving around, honestly. It's a lot of fun shooting through the air, seeing where your car's gonna land. And there about sums up the jumps, guys. There is a lot more in this game. There is other locations such as this ramp right here will shoot you directly across into the beach. There's so many jumps in this game, and this is one of the things that make me say, you want a new map? Show me that you even know a single one of these jumps. Now, I'm going to admit I don't have an example here. I really contemplate getting a friend in here to quickly just do the aspect of it to show you a legitimate example. But one big thing to utilize as well that most people don't do, when a car is racing you straight on down the road and you need to protect yourself, not get run over, and you want an easy kill, right before that car hits you, let's say it's right about here, give or take, place down a shield. Their car will run directly into that shield. And you know what will happen the moment that you're standing right here? They're going to be sitting in the driver's seat for an easy elimination. So make sure that you utilize the shield for that reason to get a lot of quick and easy kills. One thing I don't see a lot of people do, constantly move left and right. When you're coming up to a loot, check it out. Keep moving left and right. At no point should you be a standstill target. You do not need to stand still for auto loot to activate. You purely need the box open, and it just needs to stay open. So keep moving, never stop. Don't be a straight running line target. You know how easy it is to headshot one of those? Super easy. So keep moving, keep aside, turn around, spin around, do a back roll. Never be a single moving target. Easiest thing to do is shoot something in the training round where it's just going across the screen. Never be that across the screen. Here's a tip I'm going to assume most of you probably are going to actually know ASAP, and you probably have already found out yourself. Water is not your friend. If you can take a car over top, if you can get into a boat, and when I say get into a boat, I mean get into it, press your nitro boost, and get across. It is so easy to headshot someone just entering a boat that the moment you're in it, you better get across and start moving. It's too easy to destroy, and if you're stuck in that water, because as you can see, a quick little jetpack gets you across, but if you're ever stuck in that water, this is your movement speed. You can go underneath the water to try and hide, but the fact is people can toss grenades, they can shoot falling stars, and those will pierce through the water and they will kill you. So being underwater is not a safety method, and you can drown in the end too. If you ever find yourself stuck in a situation where someone has destroyed your boat, this thing is on fire, it's exploded, you no longer can be in it, you've jumped into the water to avoid any explosion damage, your best bet when doing so is to climb back onto it, tower up, and fly. Do not swim in this game. Swimming in this game more than likely will be your death 80% of the time. The only time you don't die in it is because you got lucky and no one was looking. Now, I admit this one's a little bit more of a bonus tip. Now, it's not going to really matter if you're in solos. It's not going to be that big of an issue. I admit that. But one thing is, if you're going to play duos or squads and you intend to be good at this game in any way, shape, or form, something you need to do is open your settings up and go to squad voice. From here, most cases you have to actually turn it back and forth when you first sign on for the day, but turn it on to squad. Talk to your team and stop being a hindrance by being the silent player who has nothing to help out the team with. Seriously. Duos and squads, turn on your mic. You are playing an online game that is interactive, that is meant to have teamwork. And if you're not going to use teamwork, you need to play solos. Seriously. Anyways, guys, that is a super quick, super basic, quick 10 tips, which is just meant to help you pick up your gameplay if you're new to the game, if you're struggling at a certain KD and you're wondering what you need to work on specifically to pick up your gameplay value. Hopefully these tips and tricks can help you out and pick up your game just that little bit more. Thank you for watching, guys. My name is Azzy. You can find me on Twitch, and of course you can find me on YouTube. Thank you for watching. All likes, comments, and subs are hugely appreciated. The goal is to hit the 1K. I want to start monetizing stuff. I want to have that extra inspiration to start really pushing out the content. So if you guys don't mind, I would appreciate the support. And, well, till next time.
And I wanted to make it, I guess, you know I live with the criticisms. People are giving opinion, they put it upon a pedestal. A pendant for your thoughts, but I never asked for change. My work ethic's ridiculous and yours is not the same.